Hello friends, let's get started on another video on TMDL. I did a video part 1. It's a beginner's guide to TMDL, tabular model definition language, and this is the second video. Check out the first video. The link is in the description of this video. And also make sure to subscribe my channel for the upcoming videos and make sure hit the bell icons so that you get notified. So in this video, we're going to look into the format to edit TMDL files. Let's and one more thing. In the previous video, in the first video, I mentioned that you can open TMDL file with a notepad because it's just a simple with any text editor you can open it. And also with the Visual Studio, I showed that you install Visual Studio Code, which is free, and then also you install extensions. You install TMDL extensions in Visual Studio Code, and then so that it highlights the syntax and all that stuff. So we are in this video purely going to use Visual Studio Code. That does not mean that you cannot do that stuff in any text editor as well. You can do that, but we're gonna focus on Visual Studio Code going forward on all TMDL related videos. Okay, so let's jump into Visual Studio Code, and here I already have Visual Studio Code running, and you can the last time what I did is I opened one single file from the folder. Actually, I learned, because I didn't know that, I can open a folder and it will list all the files under that. So today we're going to use open folder, so that where my PBIF files are. And do check out the first video to understand the whole process of how to create the TMDL files, right? So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to open the folder. So I'm going to go open folder and straight go to my folder, and then this is what I want to select as in a folder, right? So I guess this warning comes up. I say I authorized, and it lists all the files in there, right? And at this point of time, we only work with the data set. As I mentioned, the report folder does not still follow the TMDL format, only the data set one, and that's where we are going to work. So I can actually open this dataset folder directly instead of opening the root folder of PBIF files where it is. Actually, let's do that so that it's much easier. So let's do that again. I'm doing these things as learning along with you guys. So I don't know. Can I close it, or what I can do it here? I guess it sticks there. Maybe new. Open folder, I guess. Then we will go into where my files are, and we go to dataset, and this is the folder we want to go to. And actually we want to go to definitions and in tables, because this is where we are going to work right now. So let's select that folder. Okay, perfect. So just to clarify, I just went into PBIP folder where I have stored the files. And then I went to which folder I went to? I went to dataset folder, and under dataset I went to let's bring it up. So I went under dataset. This is the folder, and under that I went to definition folder. And under definitions, it has a lot of stuff, model, TMDL, relationship, and all the stuff. We are not interested in that yet, because in this video we're just gonna focus on the tables. And then I went to the tables folder, and this is all the files under the table folder, and that's what actually showing up in here. So now this is easier. Rather than opening one single file, we can open the folder, and then we can work on this any file we want to open. What we're going to do in this particular video, we're going to look into the how to write, let's create a new measure, right? How does that works, and what the format look like to creating a new measure. And also I noticed when I open the existing TMDL files, the one which you already have, and some of those has the backticks, and some places it has backticks and some places it does not. So we will understand what those are and why they are there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a sales TMDL file. This is where we're going to work most of the time. And all right, so here we have sorry, we have a sales file, and as we can see, we're going to add a new measure, and we can always take a look at the existing measure and copy that. And one other thing is what I was mentioning about some places you guys see these tick marks like a backticks. It starts and end. So we want to understand what does that even mean. So I think the first thing first, let's create one simple measure. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it a measure sales new, and let's say it's just a copy of our existing measure, which is a sales measure, right? The good news about this thing is like this actually is autocomplete, which is awesome, right? So we do this. Now what does this mean? Can I save it and open the PBI file? It will be there. Let's try it. So we're going to save this. So it's saved, and let's go to the folder and we will open the PBIP file, right? That's how we store. And I'm just going to keep it side. Okay, so when I try to open the PBIP file, it gave me this error. I guess it did not like that. So parsing error type indentation. So I guess the indentation is not correct. Okay, yeah, you're right here. It says the sales new, which we added. This is good. At least we get to know where the problem is. Line number 4, which is awesome. And it says error is on line number 4 and line is this. Okay, so what is line number? Is it line number 4? Yes, this is line number 4. That's so cool, right? So the error message in Power BI tells where the error is. So we can make mistakes and we can test it. Okay, so I think one of the thing is if you have the measure with the space in between, you have to put it in a, let's first do this thing. Let's remove the space. I think as you can see, when I give the space, the color was yellow. I think that means it's not valid, I guess, the name. And when I remove the, as other measures name are like a purple color or pink color, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm gonna, when I remove the space, I guess this is now valid, sales new, and let's save it. And then we'll try to open the PBI file again. All right, so it opened, and let's see in the sales table, do we have a sales new measure? Aha. All right, so what we did there is it's here already, so that works. That's pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna close this. We're gonna keep on opening and closing the file. So I will put the PBIP folder here, maybe here actually. And okay, so it means if we want to give a space in the name of the measure, we have to put it in the single quote, right? So it has to be like this. So yeah, that change the color to purple. It means this is the correct valid input, I guess. So we can save it. I don't need to test and open it. So now the question is, if I want to write a measure and my own measure, does it let's say if I want to write it in the next line, and I want because I'm very particular about the formatting of the measures, and let's say I want the measures to be in the next line and properly tab, have the spaces and the formatting and all the stuff is done for the measure. So how we do that? So should we just go to the next line and say sales here? Will it work? I guess it doesn't like this because everything turned out to be now yellow color. So again, one of the things with the TMDL, I think I understood, is you give what you're trying to do. It's like a measure. This is the measure name, and the next lines need to be tabbed. So it has to be. Look at this one. Let me remove this, and let's put it 0. So if you look at any other existing measure, you have a measure sales, which give this definition, and then any properties of that measures are in the a tab, I think, or the space, I guess. Oh, it's a tab, right? When I highlight, I see there's a small arrow there. So that has to be tabbed, and then it becomes like kind of block, right? So this is one block related to sales, and this is sales percentage block. So this is measure quantity, and the block is defined based on the tab, right? So here, if I want this measure to be on the next line, and I go tab, and then I go sales, right? So this is just a copy of a sales measure. Okay, so that looks correct, and then I save it. And let's open the PBI file again. No space. Now we created the sales new with the space. All right, sales new. Ah, awesome. So it means when you're creating a measure or any other, I guess, maybe a new column. If anything is with the spaces, you need to be in the quotes, right? That's the I think the learning we have. But the one thing I did not like it because I expected this to be on the next line, right? I want it to be like this. Or for example, when I do the measures, I do that like calculate sum of sales, sales amount. That's usually we all do that, right? And so we want to format it like that. I don't, in this particular case, this is fine because it's just a simple measure. But how about if I want it to be on the next line? How does that work? So let's close this and try to do that. So we're back here. So what I want is I want a line feed, I guess, in this case. And this is where I think the backticks come in the picture. In the backticks, whatever you do that, it just copy that as like a enter line feed and the tab and all the stuff. Let's try that. We're gonna do a backtick 1, 2, 3. I think that the syntax is 1, 2, 3. Again, this is, yeah, I'm just saying from here. Okay, 3 backticks. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, okay, go to the, I want this to be the next line. And then I guess I need to close the backticks, right? So everything within the backticks stay. Okay, that's perfect. And let's actually write our own measure here. Calculate. This is good. Like I like it. Like you know how it's autocomplete and all this. The sum of sales and wow, it's automatically doing a lot of stuff for me. Total. I guess that's the column. So if I want to look what is the definition of my my table is, of course, I think one of the thing I've noticed is measures is in the top, and then so just to make sure that we are clear on this. So this is a table sales, right? That's a table definition, and then all the everything within the table, right? Which would be column or measures and. So we have a, so like for example in the sales table we have this column and it says column is this, data type is this, is hidden, and all the stuff because again this is we need to understand the TOM objects, how does those works, and there is a link in and you can check it out there. I will post the link for the TOM in the description of this video. So there can be different I guess depending on what you're defining. If you're defining column, it has like this property summarized by, right? In measures you would not have that property, but anyhow, let's go back. So you have a measure at the top, then you have a column. So in case you're trying to create a measure and you want to refer a column, then you can look at that, what the columns are within the TMDL file, right? So like for example, we have total sales amount column in there. So let's go back up here and we say total sales amount. Okay, and I think that's what I wanted to do. So I want this to be as formatted like this, right? So now if we save this, I saved it, and let's open the PBI file again, PBIP file again. Aha, so it did format it the way I wanted it to be, but there is an error because I think I did not put the correct name, total sales amount. I also want calculate to be on the next line. So let's close this. Close this. How you close this? Close. Do not save. Okay, so sales, total sales amount, and I want calculated to be on the next line. So what does that mean? Should I enter tab and save? So okay, I fix that. Let's open it again. Sales new. Okay, so the error disappeared, but calculate did not show up on the second line. I want it to be like this, right? That's what I want it to be. And I want it to be like this. So how we can make it happen? Okay, let's go back. Although this is on the second line, Alt enter, no, shift enter. So I press shift enter, and then I think if anything is within the backticks, it does not matter where it is. Like I don't have to press that tab, and let's save it and reopen the PBI file, PBIP file. Okay, so the format, this doesn't go on the next line, I don't know why, but everything else seems correct. But let's do one thing. Let's try to remove this thing and see what happens. So if this was done, of course, so this tells us when the backticks are there, the tab, the group is now within those backticks, right? It automatically understands that's the group. But if you remove the backticks, and now as you can see everything turned into be yellow, it seems like then we need to indent it to make it as in a one block, right? So I think these are two finding. So if you don't have the backticks, I think that's the importance of the backticks. It defines this is the block for that particular measure. And if you don't have the backticks, then you have to basically do the tab indentation to make sure that it understands this is the tab now. Okay, so if I don't do backticks, I did the tab, does that format still works? So let's go back, open the PBIP file again. So without doing backtick, you can still achieve the same thing, but you have to have a tab. But the only challenge now I'm facing is I want this to be on the next line. How to give the line feed to this? Or did I saved it? No, did not save. How to give that line feed? So let's actually let's look at existing measure and see, and then compare it with that, because I don't know how to indent that. So I have a sales measure here. I guess any of the measure I can pick. This is straightforward. Okay, this one, sales ship date. We should look into this measure in the TMDL file, sales ship dates. How does this order itself? On the order of these measures. So I guess here you go, sales ship date. Okay, so if I highlight this area, so there's an empty row after this backticks, and that did the job. Okay, so let's try the same thing. So we have backticks 1 2 3, so that tells us the block 1 2 3, and then we have an I guess empty row. Okay, so this basically gives the line feed, I guess. Save it, saved. Let's open PBIP file again. Aha, so that did the job for us. That it is a line feed. So basically we gave in a line feed and in an empty line within that block, so that works. So I think end of the day what I can do is, if I really want it to be, I can have the backticks line feed, and then I can remove the tab here, and because the backticks define that block. If you don't have the backticks, then you have to give the indentation that makes the block. Otherwise, you have to give the backticks and save it. And open the file again. Yeah, that's what I want. Like if I have to, if I write a measure in Power BI straight here, this is pretty much what I follow, right? So now I see how we can do it. Okay. So that worked. I think going back to, I don't need to save this. So going back to this, basically what you can do, a couple of things, a couple of findings here. When you are giving a space or any special characters, I think within the name of measure or a column you are creating or whatever object you are creating, it has to be within single quote. And if you're not using the backticks, you have to make sure you are indenting those correctly so that that becomes one block. And if you want the way I want it to be formatted, then you give a backtick. So anything within the backticks just translate into as it is into the Power BI as in a measure. And again, these are the properties of different things. I don't want to go in all the details about these properties because you know what the format string is, how you do that, and all that fun stuff. Because those properties, then I guess those are a TOM object properties. And again, I will put the link in there. And but what the point here is, if you have to do a very basic stuff in TMDL, creating a new measures and quickly open the TMDL file and do it in here. Again, end of the day, this is again, keep in mind the objective is to be a source control, a version control, and multiple people working on the file. This is the objective of TMDL. Otherwise, somebody say, if I have to work, I'm the only one person working on that. I don't see any value in this. But if I really need to have a multiple people working on the same Power BI file, and we have a Git repository where the data has the file needs to be get synced and all the stuff, then TMDL files we need, and that's what actually we all need, right? End of the day. So we are going into bits and pieces. Maybe in the next video we'll look into how to create a new table in TMDL. Like, what if these are the tables already I have, I want to create a new table. Can I create it outside Power BI, and how does that look like? All right, until next video, guys, have a good one, and make sure to check out the first video, and the second most important thing is to make sure to subscribe the channel. Until next video, have a good day. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Cheers.